Well, it's National Poetry Day again this year of 2021, and this year's theme is choice. And in keeping with tradition, I've written a poem, and it's called The Chance to Choose. This morning, when I woke up, I didn't want to move. I was so comfy and so tired, but I knew I had to prove to my mum and to my Gran that I could do this on my own, that I wouldn't always grumble, that I wouldn't always moan, and so I chose to rise up out of bed, when of course it was appealing to go back to sleep instead. I put my left foot out and the other foot did follow. And I thought, I reckon I could do this getting up thing again tomorrow. It took action. I made that happen. That was me. At breakfast time, my Gran asked if I wanted toast or Shreddies. Why so many decisions when I'm just trying to get ready? I don't know. I wanted Coco Pops, but I hadn't been offered those. So I might as well take some toast and peanut butter, I suppose. But I'll have some fruit as well. A banana for the way. I'll make a healthy choice to set me up well for the day. Some fruit. I chose health. Yep, that was me. I felt a little wobbly on my way to class today. I don't mean on my feet, but on the inside, as they say. Those butterflies, I don't know why they were all up in my tum. I was feeling apprehensive and I really wanted Mum to have a chat, to talk things through. She'd make me feel all right, but she wasn't there, and walking in, my throat was feeling tight and I had a choice. Would I take a deep breath and stand up tall, or would I shrink into myself and end up feeling small? And so I chose to hold my head high, shoulders back, to walk on into class and give my best, to have a crack at all that lay ahead of me that day, at every task, knowing that if I really needed help, I could always ask. It took courage. I chose courage. That was me. I saw something at playtime and I didn't think it was right. It wasn't anything awful like an all-out screaming fight, but it disturbed me even so, and I had a choice to make. Would I speak up and tell someone, or would I be a fake and just pretend that nothing happened, that I'd not seen or heard that child who chose that day to be a little mean? And so I chose to use my voice, and I stood up for that child. And I'm glad, because Sir said it really matters, however mild. I spoke. I chose to speak up. And I'm proud to say that was me. After school that day, I started watching some TV and was starting another episode when my mum called out to me to turn it off. And I was cross and I was about to answer back. And I know from past experience that I'd soon have gone off track and blown my temper. So I paused. I chose to stop myself from making my protest known, and instead I turned the telly off and I did it on my own. I made a choice. I made a choice that day to try and do my best, and in this instance that meant listening and respecting Mum's request. I listened. I chose to listen. That was me. And it got me thinking. Every day we're faced with lots of choices, and in the midst of all our choosing we hear lots of other voices, but our very own is often worth a listen to, because I reckon that deep inside we know what's best for us. We do. We know what's right, we know what's wrong, we know what's good, better, best, and we can only be responsible for ourselves, because all the rest, well, they have choices too, and we might not agree with theirs, and we're faced sometimes with things that take us unawares, and when we find ourselves in situations new or at a crossroads wondering what exactly we must do, we all must choose. And when we do, we would do well not to forget the things we've learned about what's right and wrong, so as we don't regret the choice we make. Because choices matter each and every single day. And what we do and what we choose to do will pave the way for our whole future. How we feel about ourselves, integrity, if people will respect us, whether we're 10 or 23, whether we will learn from our mistakes and give a go at being willing to change, adapt, in order that we might grow, that we might be proud of who we are and of the choices that we make, and stay grateful for opportunities and never for granted take the chance to choose.